We help sending at the moment. The family stay only one day. We do all the procedure. We go with the family to the district attorney. We help the family. Of course, I help the family to translate into Spanish so they know exactly what the district attorney is saying. We help the family to get all the documents, a piece of all the documents of all the file, and then we go to the coroner office to identify the body. Then we come back to the district attorney just to release the body, and we help if the family said, I have a rush. I need to go back to the States. I cannot stay one day more. What we do is we ask the family, please provide your address, and we will go to the postal office in the United States, and we will send it to your family home. So they will receive it there.
Hello, Rosarito Beach. It's Kanoa here with RosaritoLiving.com, and today we're going to be talking about an event we have that we just went to, and it was brought to us by FRAO, Foreign Relations Attention Office, and it's Alexander who runs this, and he's a wonderful man if you haven't met him, and I highly recommend that you guys come to the FRAO meetings. They're once a month, and they really help educate us about living in Rosarito Beach. Now, this actual meeting that we had, Alexander brought a specialist in to talk to us about, or an actual specialist, but an expert that come in and talk to us about what happens if we die in Mexico. Now, this isn't an exciting topic, obviously, but it's something we need to know. So what happens if a family member or a friend or a loved one comes to Mexico and they die as a foreign resident? This isn't some important information. I hope you guys get something out of this video, and make sure you keep coming back to RosaritoLiving.com for more information about living and enjoying Rosarito Beach.
As you all know, today's topic is going to be the rights that we have as a foreign national to be actually legally purchase a grave here, what the system is, we have the right to. I'll pass you to someone that knows a lot more than I do, Senor Alberto Lorenz, correct? And you speak perfect English. If not, just say French, we translate for you, don't worry. So I will pass the speaker to him. When he finishes, of course, you're welcome to ask questions. Just please should make it as short as possible so we have a chance to go to everyone. Thank you, Mr. Alberto. Adelante.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here. First of all, welcome all of you, and happy for the invitation for the FRAO team. Thank you to Alexander Magnum, and thank you for Gabriela Sotelo and to Roxanne Caldera. I'm in representation of Isaac Santana, who is the delegate of the National Association of Funeral Directors in Baja California. And today, we're gonna try to provide you, you're gonna step so you can see me in the back. We're gonna try to provide you the ABC of the funeral service. I worked for 22 years for the U.S. Consulate. I was in charge of the arrest team. Now I'm helping Grupo Funerario Santana, and I'm in charge. I'm the Binational Communication Manager, and I'm gonna try to provide you with very important information that you're gonna need in a very sensitive time when you have a loss of your loved one or your family need to deal with that situation. I can tell you that I have been working for a year and a half as Binational Communication Manager, but I have all the experience from 22 years and a half of working with U.S. citizens when I was working at the consulate. Okay, now I can tell you, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you a presentation very clear, and at the end, I can answer some questions that you have. Many of the questions are gonna be related to what to do, which other authorities are gonna be involved, and what we can do to help you. Because our goal is helping you. On those difficult times, on those difficult situations, our goal is provide your assistance. We're not gonna, you're not gonna be alone in case that you decide, of course, to have our service or any other service. We're not telling you that we're the only option, but I can talk about myself with all the experience that we have on this corporation. First of all, our name is Grupo Funerario Santana. If you don't know us, we're next to the corner office. Actually, we're helping the corner office not only in Rosarito, we're helping the corner office also in Tijuana, and we're providing, I think, a good assistance, and well, we have been doing that for a while. La siguiente. First of all, like I told you, welcome all of you to this important meeting. I think this is really important to have this information, not only on this topic, on all the topics that the FRAO team provide. La siguiente. Well, if you're retired, suffering ill health, or medical tourist, make sure that you have a repatriation insurance and have a system for death proceedings in Mexico with the extra advisor. And you can see that right here. The estimated cost of the transfer to from your relative to the United States is between $2,000 and $3,000, not including funeral service in the United States, of course, is not included. And the next of kin is responsible for all those financial costs related to a funeral in Mexico. Okay. Yeah. Sometimes they don't know what to do. They don't know what's the next step when something happened. You can see on the video that they said actually that's one of the things that we receive a lot of calls. Actually, when I was working at the consulate, they call because they feel that if they call 911 or emergency, it's going to be the first step. But if the person has been receiving medical treatment, it's going to be only a recognition. So they can avoid the corner office, they can avoid all that long procedure, and they can go directly to the funeral home. That's something really important because it can save a lot of time, it can save a lot of paperwork, it can save a lot of efforts. And the only thing that they have to do is they need to have, of course, the signature from the doctor who is confirming that the person was ill. So that's very important to consider. If you have a doctor that you have been in touch in regular basis here in Mexico, it's important that you have that information for your family member. What to do if your loved one died in Mexico? Here we're going to start with the ABC. It's going to be short, it's going to be clear, and then we're going to go to the questions. Documents that you need to have ready at home for an emergency. Of course, birth certificate, first thing. They need to have 100% confirmation that you're a U.S. citizen. An official ID, very important, passport, state ID, or driver license. A lot of people ask, what if my passport is expired? It's important that you have a passport, a valid passport for different issues. You know, when you enter walking to Mexico, they're gonna ask for your passport. If you enter in car, of course, you're gonna skip that. But if you enter walking, for sure, Mexican immigration is gonna ask for your passport. One of the things that is very important is register yourself on FRAO, so they have good information, of course, and any person who came and joined this association and this group, it's important that they have full information. Birth certificate of next of kin, well, this is for the family members. Birth certificate of next of kin, an official ID of next of kin, passport, state ID, or driver license should not be next of kin if it's necessary for all the documents to be notarized. It's important that I clarify that part. Who can do all the procedure? It has to be a next of kin, first of all, at least one. At least one next of kin is the one who has to go to the corner office, identify the body, go to the district attorney, release the body, go back to the corner office, give authorization to the funeral home to take the body to the funeral home. One next of kin, and the other one can be a relative, can be a friend, could be any person. But the main one is the next of kin. Why? Because we have levels, and if somebody passed away, the first person that can take care of all the paperwork and all the remains, if he's married, it's going to be the couple. If he's not married, fathers. Then brothers and sisters. Then, sorry, let's start again. If he's married, it's going to be first of all sons, then fathers, then any other family member, and then a friend could be. Okay, but main, and it's very important that a family member needs to start everything. Every document not in Spanish not be translated into Spanish. That's something that we help. Actually, it's important if you have your documents already translated to Spanish. Something that you can win a lot of time. Of course, you can have it in a safe place, and it's important. There are things that at some points we're gonna need it, and it's important to have everything ready. What we do when we provide service, as myself as the National Communication Manager, I ask the families, the next of kin, to send me all the information by email so we can go ahead and they don't lose time at the moment that they're here in Tijuana, because sometimes they came from I don't know, from Oregon, from Atlanta, from Georgia, from Colorado. So what we want is we want to save their time, because what we do is we help the family members to stay only one day and then go back to the States. And in one day we move forward to do all the procedure. And it's important that we receive all the documentation by email so we can send it to the translator so they can translate it for us. And at the moment that the family is here, we have everything ready. So we move forward. We note time is important for everybody. For those holding a dual citizenship, there is no need of translate your birth certificate as long as you have your certificate of Mexican nationality. Dual nationality, of course, you don't have to translate any document. You just present your birth certificate, the certificate of Mexican nationality, sorry, and that will be. This is very important. Very, very important. Have always at home the phone number from your next of kin or legal representative for an emergency, landline, and cell phone. Why is important? I just dealt a week ago with a case of exhumation. What happened? We couldn't find next of kin, so the person, a U.S. citizen, went to the common grave. The family then find out, of course, of the incident, and they start with a little procedure. We need to go into the district attorney. We receive very good help from the district attorney, but it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time. It was a lot of stress for the family because they want to take their loved one to the United States, and they couldn't, because they need to go into all the paperwork, into all the procedure, and unfortunately, even that we have good relation with the district attorney, as I know that everybody from you and the FRAO unit has, they need to do what they have to do. Everything has to be doing the right way, because they're going to do an exhumation. And that's something that is important. That's why it's important to have next of kin information. If we had in that, or somebody had in that time information about this person, that wouldn't happen. Clarify with your family or legal representative about disposition of the remains. Of course, it's important. The options are, of course, cremation. That is something that is really common. Transfer of the body or remains to the United States, or bury the body in Mexico. That is not very common. Speaking about U.S. community, most of the cases that we receive are we transfer the body to the United States, to different parts, or we cremate the body, and we help with all the procedure. Always remember, prevention is the key. That's something really important. Prevention is the key. If you want to start with something, you can pass an attendant list. If you have any other question, if you have any question related to this presentation, related to any other part of the procedure, we can give you information with no problem. We will be glad to send you that information. And prevention is the key. Keep in mind a memorial plan for you and your loved ones. We have memorial plans, of course we have. It's important, yeah, it's important. It's really, really important. You make Mexico your home, so it's important that you have everything in room. Do you have everything? I know the FRAO is making a lot of effort to have these meetings, but if Mexico is your home there right now, so it's important to have everything in rule, so for those difficult times. Okay. These are our phone numbers. This is a 619 number. This is my 24/7 phone number. You can call at any time if you want more information. If you want that I send the presentation. If you want to ask, and if you want a meeting so we can provide you a little bit more of information. I think it's really important. It's really important. And we're going to have your time. We're here to help you. We're here to provide you information. And of course, to clarify a little bit more what's the procedure in Mexico. And I represent this group, and like I told you, we have been working for more than 30 years. Not myself. I have been working for only a year and a half with that corporation, but they have been working for 30 years, and we'll be glad to answer any question that you have.
Would you read that U.S. number for us?
Yes, sure. The number is 619-636-2788.
And the Mexican number, please?
The Mexican number will be 664-438-5123. And this is the office, and you can reach Viviana. This is a local number, 661-613-0541. And you can ask for Viviana. She's the person in charge of the prevention unit area. Yes, sir?
Two questions.
Yes.
First of all, you're assuming that we have relatives in the United States. If you've outlasted all of your relatives and you don't have any relatives in the United States, what do you do then?
You don't have relatives in the United States, and you don't have relatives in any other part?
Don't have relatives anywhere.
No relatives. Okay, it's important on those cases. It's not important. It's imperative that we have a prevention, because we're not gonna have family members, and it's important that you have everything in set up so your friends can help you.
And the second thing is, why do you need a birth certificate if your United States passport clearly says where and when you were born in the United States?
That's a good question. Passport is identity and identification document. Even though, if I present the document, document is good for the U.S. consulate. It's good for travel. If you travel, of course, you're going to use that in the airport, and they're going to allow you to travel. But for the purpose of following up with all the procedure at the district attorney requests a birth certificate, and it has to be an original birth certificate, and it's important. It's important. What we do, let me tell you, this is the magician trick. When somebody say, I don't have a birth certificate, I drive from Atlanta, Georgia, I cannot go back to get my birth certificate. What I do, because I know the procedure, I say, well, your loved one had a U.S. passport? Yes. Okay, what we're gonna do, we're gonna go to the consulate, we're gonna send an email, we're gonna call, because we have contact, and we're gonna ask them to check on their computers if there's a valid passport. They're gonna approve, and they're gonna issue a letter. The letter name is Carta de Identificación, and with that, we can skip the birth certificate. That's something that we can do, because we're not here to make you lost time. We're here to go forward. Okay, we don't have birth certificate, the family came from Atlanta, from Colorado, what's the next step? The next step is gonna be the consulate, and they're gonna help us, of course, if they have information from you. But what happens if you're living here in Rosarito, and that passed away, and the person passed away, and you don't have your birth certificate? We can do that, but now that you're receiving all this information, I can tell you that it's better if you can request your birth certificate online, receive it, a couple of it, and you can have it on the safe, as the same as the rest of the documents. But we can resolve it. Yes, we can resolve it. Yes.
I have a couple of questions. You said that all documents need to be translated into Spanish.
That's correct.
Okay. What about my daughter? You want her birth certificate also. If I die, you want my birth certificate and my daughter's birth certificate.
That's correct.
To prove that she's my kid.
Mm-hmm.
Does her birth certificate need to be translated?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And how do you get them translated? I mean, do you go to like do they have to go through a notario?
No. It's a very good question. No, you don't have to go to a notario. Notario is for real estate, for all different things. You don't have to go to the notario. You can go. We have a very good friend, Buick. I don't know if you know him. It's by the going to the actually in front of the city hall. He helped us with the translations. We have very good contact with him. I can, if you want, I can send you the information from him. So if you can, if you want to go with him, he can attend you with no problem.
And one other question. I plan on being cremated. Will they have to ship my ashes to the United States, or can my daughter pick them up and then drive them back?
Yeah, that's a very good question. First of all, I can explain in general, not only for you, in general about the cremation. If somebody passed away from natural causes, we're going to be able to do a cremation. If somebody passed away for a violent crime, he's not going to be able to be cremated in Mexico. That's very important to know. It's going to be only transfer the body back to the United States or buried in Mexico first. Speaking about what we do, we help sending. At the moment, the family stay only 1 day. We do all the procedure. We go with the family to the district attorney. We help the family. Of course, I help the family to translate into Spanish so they know exactly what the district attorney is saying. We help the family to get all the documents, a piece of all the documents of all the file, and then we go to the coroner office to identify the body. Then we come back to the district attorney just to release the body, and we help if the family said, I have a rush. I need to go back to the States. I cannot stay 1 day more. What we do is we ask the family, please provide your address, and we will go to the postal office in the United States, and we will send it to your family home. So they will receive it there. They don't have to wait for the ashes. They're gonna sign a letter. On the one, it's gonna say, it's not this, but this is a full package. They're gonna sign a letter to your family and saying that they gave us authorization to take care of the cremation, so the family don't waste time, and they can go back to the States, and we can send the ashes back there.
Yes, sir.
Okay, a little conflict of information. Betty Legal had a similar type program for our cruise robot. And I understood from Betty that the birth certificate has to be original, but it has to be proven that it's an original. So you have to get a certified copy from the state where you were born, and then apostille, and then both of those be translated here. Otherwise, it's, you can take a copy of a birth certificate, it's a copy, it's not an original. So that was a clarification that she made for us.
Yeah, good question. Do this attorney need a birth certificate? They don't need an apostille. You're talking about the apostille. Apostille is that you go to the office, if you're from Oregon, they're going to put a seal, and that's going to help for international matters. They're going to help for the procedure. That's an apostille. For the funeral service, we just need the original. We don't need, actually, the district attorney never requests the apostille. When they're going to request an apostille, it is going to be an exhumation, because that's more sensitive area. They're gonna need an apostille. But you don't have to apostille your birth certificate. I'm gonna tell you now something that, just to clarify a little bit more. If someone die in Mexico, family member, or somebody die in Mexico, the family lives in the United States, and the family say, I'm not able to go to Mexico. I want you, Grupo Santana, take care of everything. Okay, I will. But we need that they go directly to the nurse's council in order to get a report, like power of attorney, with the seal of the Mexican authorities, and they're gonna send that document to us. At that moment, we're gonna be able to move forward. We're doing that in Tijuana. I think with Rosarito, everything is more fluent. But we have a lot of cases like those that the family, in the past, they just gave us a power of attorney. Now they have to go directly to the Mexican consulate, even if we're talking about a U.S. citizen, and they have to get that document, and with that document they will send it to us, and we can follow up with the procedure. But the apostille is not need for the funeral procedure. We don't need it. We just need the birth certificate. We take the birth certificate, we translate the birth certificate with, it can be Pew or any other person who translates. It has to be an official, a certified translator, and you're gonna put a seal on it. I'm gonna bring the document with the rest of the documents. I'm gonna be with the family, and that's the district attorney is gonna take it as good.
And you're
So it
saying
has
we
to
have
be
to go to the Mexican consulate? You've not been here to hear all the bad stories about people trying to get their applications for visas. The Mexican consulate in Mexico, in San Diego, is not known to be the most helpful group.
Actually, we haven't get any response from the Mexican consulate on that matter in San Diego. Most of the people, most of the family members, they cannot come because they live very far away.
Sure.
They live in Alaska, they live in Portland, they live in Cincinnati, and they're working. They cannot come, but they want to take care of his family member.
So the birth certificate needs to be an original, not a copy.
And original.
Just make a note on your statement that they are actually changing the concept, so there's hope.
Yes, sir.
Yes, my name is Bill Clark. I've been here 27 years. I've been involved with this situation lots of times. Thank you for this information.
Thank you.
The most important thing up here is we are here to help. I've known this family, the family, for 50 years and dealt with it personally here at least 20 times. Sometimes it's easy, very easy. If you've done all that, it's going to be very easy. If not, it can be difficult. And these people are there to help. I can guarantee you that. They help me bring bodies back to Mexico to be buried here from the States and vice versa, going the other way. They're there to help. They're really, I've had great success with it. But it's not always easy. You have to do all these things. It can get complicated. Remember, we're in Mexico. Translations here and there. But you can trust these people.
If you go the route of prevention, you do all of this ahead of time so that when something, we get everything done through the prevention process.
Yeah.
So that when somebody passes, it's much quicker and easier then.
Prevention is only for you to be prepared before it happens. We work with plans, different packages by national, and some people don't want to go to the States. They just want to be buried here or be cremated and stay here in Rosarito. We do have that. And to the States, what he was talking about, we do all the documentation process. Okay, let me briefly explain it. It includes the removal of the human remains body in the U.S., embalming, includes the metallic casket, or it's optional if you want to be cremated. Includes the memorial at chapel home, cafeteria services, the documentation process, like we said, repatriation, and it can be transferred within Mexico or the United States.
Is it necessary to have a power of attorney for whoever is going to be dealing with the funeral services?
If it's not a family member.
But if it's a family member, it's not, because at another presentation, we were told by an attorney that, and it's not the attorney that does this, I forgot the name that it's called, that you do a power of attorney through a notario, giving somebody the authority to take care of the remains, not from a prevention standpoint.
For immediately,
So if it happens,
immediate case, yeah.
You have to have that already prepared so that somebody could just, deal with this whole process.
Yeah, no. Actually, you don't need a power of attorney. If he's a family member, they don't need a power of attorney because he's your family. They need to prove with the birth certificate. They're going to prove that he's your relative. What happened in a lot of cases, and we deal with those, is that the daughter, he has the husband last name. Wow. they don't match. So the district attorney say, oh, but I know it's your daughter. The council is saying it's the daughter, but here it's a McGregor and Rogers. So that it doesn't match. So what we have to go back to the documents that they received from the hospital, on the one that said that the person name is and we can move forward. But yeah, we have a lot of cases like those. So it's important that they have a document on the last name matches.
So this is true with women. When we get married, we take our husband's name. And so then, let's say my birth certificate says Rodriguez, but I'm now married, so my driver's license says Abel. It doesn't match. So what do you do in that situation?
Well, the one that match with or the one that if a family member from you pass away, the one that match from your last name with the person who passed away. That's the one that we're going to use. If the birth certificate it doesn't match, we need to go back and we need to check documents actually that they will provide documents from
Like a marriage license?
Not the private license, document that you get from at the moment that somebody born. In the United States, they gave you some documents on the one that said the full name, or we can prove if they doesn't match, but that's something that we need to work it out with the district attorney. We can mention, well, the last name doesn't match, but you can see right here on the bottom that it said parents are mother, and it's going to have the full name.
Like an application.
So there's a spouse situation, you need the marriage certificate then to prove that they are the next of kin? Like if I die and my husband has to take care of it, does he have to prove that?
The marriage certificate. The marriage certificate is the one. It's not the birth certificate, it's the marriage certificate. But it's going to prove that he's your husband and he's going to take care of your remains.
Okay.
If a person is, or a couple are wanting to be buried, or considering being buried down here in Rosarito, but not being cremated, so we would need to find a plot. Do you offer information concerning the different options that are there for
The birds.
cemetery?
About cemetery, we can direct you a little bit, but when we provide the prevention plan. Prevention plan include what my coworker just mentioned, all the procedure, all the district attorney staffs, the corner office staffs, filling out all the documents, translating the documents, and then we can help you or the family providing information about the next step that is going to be the place, the panteón or cementerio, the graveyard. But we don't take care of that. At least it's not on the package.
No,
it's not in the package. It's something that it's going to be this plus that.
So that would be something separate.
Separate. Yeah.
So you offer a package price on what's?
Package price?
Yeah.
Okay, for the binational package, it's $4,850. But you can, when you give you the application, you can pay the minimum amount. It's $100, and then you can be paying every monthly, weekly, however it's better for you, convenient for you.
And what includes?
Okay, that's what includes, like I said before, the embalming of the body. It includes the documentation process, cafeteria services, repatriation, transfer within Mexico or the United States. It's optional, the cremation. If you want to be cremated, it includes the urn also. And it also includes the removal of the human remains in the U.S. Personal.
How much was that again?
$4,850.
It's not uncommon for older married couples not to be married because of Social Security problem, okay? And they've been together, let's say 15, 20 years, but they're not married. What is the problem that occurs then because they are the closest relatives?
Yeah, at some point, it's not going to be a problem. It's going to be a situation that we need to solve, and we need to get in touch with siblings, with also children. First of all, if they have, if they don't have, family members. If they don't have, well, somebody has to take care, and they're gonna go with the district attorney is gonna advise that they have been living for all this time, and that's the only person that he's gonna have here in Rosarito, and they're gonna move forward. They will do it because it's that or the common grave. Of course, they're gonna decide for that option. In case that we don't have a result, we're gonna move forward and we will go to the consulate so they can clarify that situation. But we have options.
We also have the local plan though, for people who wants to stay here and they don't want to go to the States. There's one with the metallic casket that's 22,550 pesos. Depending on the dollar, it's like
Right.
depending on the dollar. And then if you just want to be cremated, it's 1,500, 250 pesos. That's in pesos. 15.
Actually, you're gonna on the attendant list. If you can put your email, we can forward full information.
Yes.
Everything, so we can clarify. And if you have a specific question, you can ask us, and we can reply to you with no problem.
So you talked about natural causes and death by violence, but just for legal purposes, what about like just an accident? Let's pre-assume that it's been certified or whatever. The legalese of it is it was an accident. Is this the same as natural causes? All of the details that are required, would they be the same as natural causes, or is there something different?
For a car accident?
Yeah, like for like a car accident or paragliding or rock climbing, like crazy stuff.
Yeah.
that we do.
Yeah, good question. Actually, for Mexico, there are only two types of death: natural causes and violent. Natural causes include suicide, include accidents, heart attacks, any other. Violent crime is when somebody other, of course, committed.
It does include accidents because when you have a car accident and the police come, you don't have a chance not to have 911. That is a big problem.
That's true. Actually, they're going to conduct, of course, an investigation. But at the moment that they find out that the person died for the accident, they're going to consider natural causes. I'm not speaking about the passenger. The passenger maybe is going to have fault, and if the person was the passenger and the other person was driving, he's going to be sent to, of course, to the district attorney for an investigation, because they need to see if he was drinking, if he was intoxicated, what happened. Of course, it's going to be an investigation, but that doesn't mean that it's going to change from natural causes to violent causes. It's going to still natural causes. It doesn't matter what the district attorney is going to do with the investigation. For the district attorney, it's going to be natural causes.
Okay, what happens if a person dies, has no relatives, has no paperwork, has no arrangement with anybody, and you can't find anything about this person? What happens to the body?
Well, first of all, maybe if they're friends, or no friends also? No friends.
No friends, no relatives.
No friends. Okay, what the district attorney is gonna wow. I'm gonna what they're gonna do? First of all, they're gonna notify the corner office. Is gonna notify the consulate, or the consulate is gonna be calling the corner office for unidentified bodies. They're gonna do a research. Very hard research. They're gonna try to find in the States, of course, at the moment that they have a clue that the person was a U.S. citizen, because they're gonna start asking neighbors. They're gonna start asking people, even if they were not friends. But yeah, I know him. He was a U.S. citizen. He came twice here, and they're gonna try to do a research. The U.S. consulate has to take care of it. What happened if the U.S. consulate made all the research and they don't find anybody? The corner office is going to hold the body. Sometimes they can hold the body for a month, 2 months. It depends. But at the end, if no family get found, is gonna be send the body to the corner of it, to the common grave. That's true. That's something that happened. That's something that happened with the case that I just told you. The person was sent to the common grave. Then the family said, "Hey, I'm a family member. I want to do the exhumation," and then we start moving forward. We did it. Yes, we did it. It was a long process. It was.
Let me ask a couple of questions. One of the purposes of FRAO is to take care of foreign community, not necessarily just Americans. So one of the questions I have here is, what if a person is not a U.S. citizen? What documents would that person need? Another question I have is, can we as foreigners or American citizens actually purchase a grave in this country? That is what we have talked about a lot, and I've been dealing with the Cabildo, with many people. They all give me different ideas, and my purpose is to make sure that some of us that choose to be buried here, including myself, I have all these witnesses here, so you know, I like to be buried here. Would I be able to purchase a grave to be there? Also, we'll answer these two, and then I ask the other two that they saw. Thank you.
Okay. I'm gonna start with the second. If you can buy pay a graveyard in advance, no. No. Answer is no. What you can do is you can get a prevention, and at the because why? Because they're buying land. They're buying land. That's something that I talked with my director. They're buying land. But at the moment that the person passed away, Mexican authority has nothing to say. So the person can be buried in Mexico, but not ahead. If I'm alive, I'm not gonna say I want to buy on this graveyard. That I'm gonna pay for the graveyard. I'm a U.S. citizen. I'm not able to do it. But I can buy a prevention, and at the moment that incident happened, the person can be buried in Mexico because the person is not going to be alive. We have a lot of cases like those with Mexican nationals, that they cannot go to the States because they don't have documents. But at the moment that they pass away, they have all the family in the States, and they're going to cross. Of course, we can take it back to the state with no problem.
In the case that you just described, that they've died, and you've gotten them a grave here in Mexico. Their spouse wants to be buried next to them, but their spouse lives another 5 years. Is it possible that their spouse can have that grave next to the one that died today, in 5 years?
What's the question again?
You have a couple. Okay. And the man of the couple dies and wants to be married in Mexico. And you go through a prevention, and plop, he's got a grave. The spouse, the remaining spouse, dies 5 years from now and wants to be buried next to her husband. Okay. Is it possible to have, they can't buy the grave next to their husband, but is it possible to reserve that grave for them so when they do die, they can get that plot?
And the spouse is also a U.S. citizen?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Both are U.S. citizens. Yeah, that's something that you need to deal directly with the
cemetery.
With the cemetery. But I can tell you, they're not gonna put it sometimes next to it. They're gonna put it sometimes on
top.
Yeah, and what they do is that, of course, they have their ways, because I know a lot of cases. No, and that is official. It's something that it happens, but it's something that happened in a lot of cases that they put it on the same, because that's the last decision of the couple. Perdón. Yeah.
Let's pay attention, please. basically what it's
Neptune
doing.
is,
Neptune Society.
the what?
It's a Neptune Society. You got a cooperation with the Neptune Society, I'm sure.
Excellent.
It's something that is a thing you buy in the United States for when you pass.
Ah,
They will
okay.
take care of
It's
the
like a probation plan in the States.
Yeah, but they would take care of the,
The what?
well, if that's what you have, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's the, for,
It's a funeral arrangement in the States, but they
Yeah,
don't
funeral
care.
arrangement, yeah. Actually, when we take care of everything here in Mexico, we're gonna do it by ourselves. If you have a funeral home in the States, they're gonna help you. At what point? At the moment that we ship the body back to the United States, because we're not gonna be able to do it in the States. We're gonna take care in Mexico. Mexico is our area. But at the moment that they cross the border, we're gonna go to that company, and we're gonna let them know where we're gonna send the remains to this place. Okay, everything is paid, so you don't have to pay nothing more. But here in Mexico, it's totally separate. They're not gonna cover our fees, because that's something that we're gonna take care of it.
I have a question because my relatives are very far away in the U.S., in New England. So if in advance I should go through the procedure of having them get approved by whatever you call that, so that they could designate you as a representative here. However, when I die, assuming I'm by myself here, there's somebody who needs to call you and someone who needs to take care of things locally. Does that person have to have a power of attorney to do anything? Just a local person?
No, because that person, she or he, is helping you. And the only thing that he's doing or she's doing is notifying us that the person passed away and that the person had a probation plan, and we're going to move forward. We're going to have full information in our database about your relatives, whatever place they are. So we're going to get in touch with them. We're going to let them know. Actually, before that we call, the first call that they're going to receive is a condolence call from the consulate. That's the first. Your representative is going to call the family, and they're going to let them know what. Of course, they're going to give condolence to the family, and then we're going to go to the picture.
Are there any limitations on what happens with cremains here? With the cremated remains, are there only certain places they can go? They can go in the ocean. Where else can they go?
No. Yeah. They can be at home. There's no limit. At the moment that we transfer, we cremate somebody and we're going to take it back to the States. We need to put right there when the remains are going to end. Most of the time is the address from the family. They're going to be in New Orleans.
What if they're here?
If it's going to be here, they're going to stay here in Rosarito. And Registro Civil, that's another part that I'm going to explain. Registro Civil is going to issue the death certificate. Remember, death certificate, Mexican document. If you want to take this document back to the United States because you have a bank account or you have something that houses, you have cars in the United States, and you go to the United States and you say, here's my document. It's a death certificate. They say, no. Congratulations, but we don't accept that certificate. You have to go to the consulate. What you have to do is you need to scan your death certificate to the consulate in order that you receive a crota. What's a crota? A certificate of death abroad. They're going to give you 20 copies. With those 20 copies, you're going to be able to do whatever you have to do, legal issues in the United States. That's an official document. What's going to say on the document? That the person passed away in Mexico, and the consulate is putting a seal, a vice consul or a consul is signing, and it's an official document. They gave you 20. If you want an extra one, I don't remember if they're $20 or $50 for each extra from the 20. And it can go, if they're 3 daughters and 1 son, they can send to all of them 5, 5, 5, 5.
The kin has to do that, or is that part of your service?
What we do, we'll do an extra. What we do is we have very good relation. We're listed on the list of the consulate. actually on the funeral home that they're on the U.S. consulate. It's too loud. We're listed on the U.S. consulate list as funeral home, and every time that we have a case, I advise the family that when they're done with the Mexican certificate, they need to follow up with the consulate too. And if the family goes to a very far away state and they don't do that, they can do it from there, but maybe nobody's going to tell them. So what I do is I give all the information. You have to send that information. If you want, we can help you. We can forward to the consulate, and we can, with that, we can win some time, so they can start working on your product. Something that we do as an extra. It's part of the assistance that we provide.
The question was, what if you don't want to send the body to the States? You just want to be cremated here and dumped in the ocean?
Go for it.
You can do that. You can do that.
What documents do you need for that? To be
Well,
cremated and just...
yeah, of course. It's going to be the same document that we mentioned.
Okay.
Somebody needs to present, of course, the relation document. They need to prove with the birth certificate. They need to have a birth certificate. They need to present IDs from the person who is a direct family member, the person who is a friend, or someone who knows the person who passed away. They need to go into all the procedure. At the moment that they sorry, that they're at the district attorney is going to ask us what they're going to do with the remains. The remains are going to be cremated, and they're going to stay here in Mexico. And of course, they can do it, no problem.
I hate to keep asking questions, but the certificate of death, is that sufficient for a trust, or would they have to have the thing from the consulate?
The certificate of death, what?
Okay, you have a certificate of death.
Uh-huh.
You send the certificate of death to the consulate. Mexican consulate, U.S. consulate, Mexican consulate.
No, U.S. Your representative.
consulate, to get a certificate of death abroad.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I have a trust here. If my daughter wants to go and get the trust for the property, does she have to give them a death certificate or the certificate of death?
The death certificate, because the issue is in Mexico. The quota is the certificate of death abroad is for the United States. Sir.
Yeah. I've traveled quite a bit in Mexico, and I've seen funerals all over the country. I've also seen where, in some areas, where there's no grave digger. The family, the friends, have to dig the grave themselves. Is that the fact? Or, I mean, in Rosarito, or do they have grave
Oh, no. In Mexico, we take care of, actually, the Mexicans will take care of everything. No, you don't have to.
Well, this is going back to...
No, it could happen in very, maybe isolated areas, could be something, but I think that here in Rosarito, actually, one of the main goals that we have is the assistance. We like to provide very direct and personal assistance, and that's one of our main goals.
Okay, cemetery here is owned by the city of Rosarito. Is
Yes.
that correct?
Mm-hmm.
And does one have to rent that plot every 5 years? Do you have a fee to pay? Do you have a one-time fee? Monthly fee? What's the arrangement?
I think it's every 5 years.
What happens if they don't want
Apparently it's every 5 years, but we can check that info. Just put at the end we're gonna put a note, and we're gonna send you that information.
Let me give you a little more information that the cemeteries are not owned by city of Rosarito. There is actually no, that's not correct. Absolutely, it's not correct. There are 2 or 3 cemeteries owned by the city, which is public ones. But there are also private ones that is owned by several families, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Sorry, the panteones are the one that they're from the
Exactly,
city.
yes. And one of the things that I'm trying to do, and I have a hard time doing it, is to be able to, at least for our legal residents, have the right to be buried in public cemeteries. Just to put an extra touch on this, we agreed recently been approved for a very large plot of land, and I think it's about 15 acres. 8 acres of this land has been given to the elderly that I'm very much involved with. Also, I'm trying to do what I can there, and I'm going to keep on doing it as long as I'm in office at least. Not only for foreigners, Americans to be able to use that plots, and the cost is next to nothing. Last time I gave an amount and I was wrong by 70 cents. The actual, for a Mexican citizen to be able to be buried is 2,500 pesos, correct? Is about $150 only. It'd be very hard to get that price for American citizens or foreigners.
This pertains to the death certificate. I think everyone who owns property in the States or has savings account or anything to do that you have in the States, a lot of them will not accept the Mexican death certificate. They will say, no, no, no. You need to go to the American consulate and get death certificates. And don't be fooled when they tell you you need 20 of them. You don't need 20 of them. So that's really important if you have property and stuff like that. Not all, but a lot of them will not accept it.
Best case scenario, what's the timeline if you're prepared? Because we're Jewish and we're supposed to be buried in 24 hours.
Okay,
So,
to be prepared to do all the procedures, what time it takes us to do it? Let me tell you very briefly what we do in a case. What I do is we got in touch with the family. They come to the family right here one day. On one day, we go to the coroner office. The family identify the body. We go to the district attorney. They do the statements. They have to do a statement. And the next of kin and the other person, because they're going to be 2. Then the district attorney is going to release the body, and they're going to give us a release order, and we're going to go back to the coroner office, and we're going to present that document to the coroner office.
this is all the same day.
On the same day. Today is Thursday. We tell the family to be here at 9:30. So we're going to start doing everything at 9:30. We're going to go to those places, coroner office, district attorney, back to the coroner office. Then the family is going to go, they're going to sign all the papers, and they're done. If they want to go back to the States, and they said, well, it's going to be a cremation, please send me back the ashes to this address, we can take care of it. So we take care a lot of the times. And one of the things that I want to mention, and it's really important, just to clarify, our price, if it's going to be very, and that's something that FRAO is doing very, very important. It's something that, to be honest, we need to consider a lot, because it's something that they're doing a very hard job, and they're, of course, is in favor of everybody. And if they're gonna do cremación y entierro, for cremation and buried in Mexico, we're not gonna be even 16. Could be 1,252 if it's gonna be here. If we're talking about, if we're gonna talking about transfer the body back to the United States with all the procedures, and this is gonna include also va a incluir también allá la funeraria allá en Estados Unidos, ¿verdad? This is going to include also the funeral home here in Mexico and the funeral home in the United States. How much is going to cost a funeral home in the States? A lot of money. So the price that we're giving is a price that's why the plan is important, because we're going to be taking charge of Mexico with all our expertise, and we're going to be taking care of everything in the United States. Any part of the United States. California. This includes only California. Any part of California. I just want to clarify that part.
That's the $4,000.
That's correct. The $4,850.
Converted into dollars, if you just want to get cremated, no services, no nothing, it's $848. That's like 15,000 pesos.
Good prices,
Depending on the exchange rate, of course.
good assistant, and also expertise.
You know, sometimes it goes
Any other questions?
very well.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you for watching our video. If you're planning on buying real estate in the Rosarito Beach area, make sure to give us a call. Have a great day, everybody.